Welcome back, thanks for watching. I'm still working on my 1978 Honda CBX, and I'm going to be swapping out the kickstand. So one of the issues on the CBXs is the kickstand can bend over time. Apparently they weren't built real strong, so what I did was I bought a kickstand from a CX, I think it was a CX 500, so it's a little bit of a taller bike. So the kickstand's a little bit longer, which is gonna work really well with the tires because I wanna go with a thicker tire on both the front and rear, so it's gonna lift it off the ground a little bit more. So hopefully this one fits. So it also has this little bar coming out, and this is where you can use your foot to actually grab it, whereas the stock one right now is difficult to get your foot underneath because the guy actually cut off this. So if this all works out, I'm going to sandblast the kickstand, get all the rust and everything off, and then I will powder coat it black so it will last, much longer. And then we'll just clean up any other bits to make sure it looks good and I can stop putting a block under my kickstand. Enjoy. Here is the stock kickstand. You can see I've got it on a block so that the bike isn't leaning over too much. And this is the new kickstand that I bought. So you can see it's a bit wider. It's gonna give me another inch, maybe 2 inches when it's mounted. So I'm gonna support the bike. That will allow me to get the kickstand off, and then I can check to ensure that it fits and that it doesn't contact anything when it's going back. I use this scissor jack, and then I'll try to use a couple pieces of wood to see if I can get this off the ground. So I'll clean the bike up, straighten this out. All right, that gives me plenty of access to the kickstand. So I need to get the spring off. Okay, so spring is off. The OEM kickstand is off, and you can see now we have the newer kickstand right next to it. So this should give me a good 1.5 inches. So let's test to make sure it fits. So it looks like it is not going to fit. So what I can try and do is open this up a little bit, see if I can get it to fit around there. So what I'm gonna try and do is grind this down just a little bit. That way I don't have to bend the metal, and see if I can get the opening to a good spot. Looks like we're getting there, but we still have some more that we need to cut. I'm gonna switch from my cutting disc to my grinding disc. Okay, still doing better. All right, so we'll test this a final time. So it looks like we're in a good spot now. which is great. But something else I noticed, so the bolt that came with the new kickstand is too small for the hole, whereas if we go back to the stock bolt, it's the right size. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to enlarge the hole on the top of this kickstand, and then we will re-thread it so that it matches this bolt. All right, so we finished drilling the hole. So we were able to get it to fit. And then what I did was I just drilled out this top hole a little bit. I went and tapped the hole to create new threads so that the bolt would fit through. And now we're at a good spot. So we're ready to get it back on the bike to test the way that the kickstand and the bike together are leaning. So now we'll get the bolt back in. So we got the bolt back in, and we can see it's moving really well. So now we can lower the bike and make sure that it is a good height for the bike with these size tires on it. Pull this forward right now, set it down on the kickstand, and that lean angle looks much better now. No block needed underneath. So the next step in the kickstand process is to sandblast. That will help get rid of a bunch of the rust, give us a nice surface so that we can powder coat. And then I'll be using my blast cabinet that's hooked up to my air compressor. And then I have my vacuum that's hooked up to help suck a lot of the dust and things out of the system. So it's gonna be a little difficult to see, so I'll do my best to try and capture what I'm doing while I'm sandblasting. So I'll turn off the lights, make it a little bit easier to see what's going on inside of the cabinet because there's a lot of glare off this window. I'll put my part in the side. Sandblasting the parts, you can see some of the paint starts to get removed. Okay, sandblasting is complete. So you can see it got off almost all the rust and it took it down to bare metal. So this will be a good surface for us to powder coat, and I'm just going to do this in a black. It's time to powder coat the part. So I have the lead hooked up to one of the wires coming off the part. I have it suspended, and now we will use the powder coating gun to powder coat it. Now we will put this in the oven. The oven is up to temperature. And we will run this for 20 minutes at 400 degrees. All right, so the kickstand is done cooling. So now we'll take it out and we'll take a look at it. Okay, and this is the finished product. The finish is really nice. Yeah, it looks like we had really good coverage everywhere that's going to be visible. Do this. Looks like it all still fits in. And perfect. So this is in a really good spot. The next thing I'll do is just clean the spring so that this has the correct action forwards and backwards. And this project's done. So we're done our kickstand project. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe. I'm going to be posting more videos on the CBX. Take care.